Cheating isn't just about bad people doing bad things. Sometimes it's the people who say they'd never do it, the ones in loving relationships who still end up breaking the rules. Why? That's what we're here to explore. From impulsive decisions to deep emotional cravings, there's more to cheating than meets the eye. Think about how many times you've heard a friend say, I'd never do that, only to watch them tumble into a situation they never expected. Cheating can be messy and heartbreaking, but it's also a window into how we deal with temptation, boredom, and fear of real intimacy. By the end of this video, you'll see why this issue is way more complex than just calling someone good or bad. It starts so simply sometimes. Picture this: a late night work event, a cozy after party, or even just a random moment when sparks fly unexpectedly. Nobody wakes up saying, I'm going to cheat today. But when a tempting moment appears, people may drop their guard. One reason is that we're more impulsive than we'd like to admit. After a few drinks, a stressful week, or feeling lonely on a business trip, decisions get blurry. Let's say someone meets a colleague who pays them extra attention. For a split second, it feels harmless to exchange flirty jokes. But the more they talk, the more comfortable it gets. Boundaries begin to soften. Add a rush of adrenaline or a sense of secrecy, and the next thing they know, a line is crossed. This doesn't make a person pure evil, but it does show how vulnerable we can be when our defenses are down. Some experts point out that these just happened moments can also be a result of poor impulse control. If you're used to chasing what feels good right now, you might not stop to consider the damage you'll cause tomorrow. It's like eating an entire tub of ice cream when you're on a diet. You know it's a bad idea, but in the moment, it feels almost irresistible. Opportunity-based cheating often happens when someone prioritizes instant excitement over long-term loyalty. Think of it as short-term gain for long-term pain. The rush fades quickly, leaving behind a mountain of regret and confusion. Sometimes the guilt is so heavy that people try to explain it away, saying things like, it meant nothing, or I was drunk. But no matter how they spin it, the emotional wound remains. Not everyone cheats because of random moments. For some, it's the slow burn of feeling overlooked, ignored, or misunderstood at home. Imagine you're in a relationship where your partner is always too busy to ask how your day went. Over time, you might start feeling invisible. Then one day, someone else notices you. They compliment your outfit, listen to your stories, and laugh at your jokes. Suddenly you feel seen, maybe for the first time in ages. This sense of being valued can be a powerful force. If you've been starving for emotional support, a small dose of warmth can feel like a huge relief. People in this situation often don't set out to hurt anyone. They're just chasing the affection they're missing. However, cheating because of emotional hunger can hint at deeper issues. Maybe they never learned how to speak up and say, I need more attention. Or maybe their partner won't listen. Some folks find conflict so scary that they'd rather look for comfort on the side than have a difficult talk at home. But the truth is, any comfort they get from cheating is usually short-lived. The real problem, lack of connection, remains unsolved. In many cases, emotional affairs can be just as painful as physical ones. Some people argue they're even more hurtful because they involve deeper bonding. When someone cheats emotionally, they share their heart with a stranger rather than their partner. This can lead to feelings of betrayal that cut straight to the core, but understanding how that hunger took root is key. Often it's a mix of poor communication, low self-esteem, and fear of rejection. Sometimes cheating has very little to do with feeling lonely or neglected. Instead, it's all about the danger and the rush. For these individuals, the excitement of sneaking around, sending secret texts, and risking everything can be wildly addictive. Oh, if you've ever done something just because it was labeled forbidden, you know that strange pull it can have. Imagine someone who's tired of their predictable daily routine. They wake up at the same time, go to the same job, and come home to the same couch. Life starts to feel like a never-ending loop. So when an opportunity for a secret fling pops up, it offers a jolt of excitement, like riding a roller coaster for the first time. But the real question is, why chase this kind of excitement? In many cases, it's a sign that the person struggles with boredom or needs constant novelty. Instead of talking to their partner about spicing up the relationship or finding healthy hobbies for a sense of adventure, they look for an extreme fix, an affair. That forbidden vibe can feel electrifying in the moment, but it usually comes with a hefty emotional bill. Risk-taking can be a temporary patch on deeper issues. If someone is unfulfilled in life, they might try to fill the void with intense experiences. Yet, once the thrill of cheating fades, they're left with the same boredom, and now added guilt. They might get caught in a cycle, constantly looking for new secrets to keep, new boundaries to break, always chasing that high. It's a loop that can lead to serious damage for everyone involved. Have you ever met someone who thinks the rules simply don't apply to them? They might say things like, I'm not the type to settle for one person, or I deserve more excitement in my life. This attitude can lead people to cheat because they genuinely believe they have the right to do it, no matter who gets hurt. An overinflated ego can make a person feel unstoppable. They might believe they're special or too unique to be held down by everyday commitments. In extreme cases, this can be tied to narcissistic traits. A narcissist might crave constant admiration and see affairs as just another way to feed their ego. They'll brush off any harm done, blaming their partner for not being enough. This sense of entitlement also shows up when someone won't take responsibility for their actions. Instead of feeling guilty, they twist the story. I wouldn't have strayed if you hadn't been so busy at work. Or, it's my partner's fault for not meeting my needs. They rewrite the narrative to stay blameless, which can be extremely damaging to the person they betray. In a relationship with someone who cheats out of entitlement, trust is hard to rebuild. Even if apologies happen, the core issue remains. This person believes their desires top all else. It's not just a one-time slip, it's a mindset. Over time, it can lead to a string of affairs or betrayals because the cheater never truly sees a reason to change. Instead, they continue to prioritize their own gratification above any promise of loyalty. Surprisingly, not everyone cheats because they're hungry for love or excitement. Some do it because they're afraid of closeness. These people cheat to push their partners away whether they realize it or not. Maybe they grew up fearing rejection or heartbreak. So whenever a relationship starts to get serious, they do something to wreck it. For them, cheating is like building a protective wall. If they're never fully committed, they can't be fully hurt. It's a twisted way of staying safe. They'd rather cause problems than risk showing their most vulnerable side and possibly facing rejection. Sometimes they cheat so their partner will break up with them first, making it easier to say, "See, relationships never work out for me." Self-sabotage can also happen when someone believes deep down that they don't deserve happiness. They might have low self-esteem or carry past wounds that haven't healed. When a relationship feels too good, they become suspicious or anxious, thinking, "This can't last." Cheating gives them control over how and when things fall apart. This behavior often leads to a lonely cycle. Each time they cheat, they confirm their own negative beliefs about love. They feel guilty and ashamed, but at the same time, they tell themselves it was unavoidable. The only way out is to face their fears directly, maybe through therapy, open communication, or serious self-reflection. Without that, they're stuck repeating the same destructive pattern. We live in a time where temptation can be just a tap away. Social media lets people reconnect with old flames or spark new ones in seconds. Someone bored on a lunch break might scroll through attractive strangers, send a quick "hey," and suddenly find themselves in a secret conversation. The boundaries get blurry. Is it cheating if it's just texting? What if it's a flirty comment under a photo? Some blame a broader hookup culture for normalizing casual flings. From certain music lyrics to dating apps that offer unlimited swipes, it can seem like society shrugs at cheating, especially if it's portrayed in a glamorous way. Celebrity scandals can also add to this, with stories of stars stepping out on their partners, then quickly moving on like it's no big deal. But these cultural shifts can mask the emotional fallout. Even if cheating feels more accepted in some circles, the heartbreak is still the same. Social media can magnify the damage by making it public. Imagine discovering your partner's secret messages or photos for all the world to see. Not only do you feel betrayed, but you might face online gossip or shame. So while modern technology has made staying in touch easier, it's also made cheating easier. That doesn't mean everyone with an Instagram account is going to cheat. It just shows how the lines can blur when there's so much accessibility. The key is how people handle that power. Do they set boundaries and resist the endless stream of flirtation? Or do they dive in, telling themselves it's just harmless fun until it's too late? Cheating might feel thrilling or comforting in the moment, but it leaves deep scars. Trust is one of the first casualties. Once broken, trust can be painfully hard to rebuild. Even if the cheater confesses and tries to make amends, the betrayed partner may always wonder, will it happen again? There's also the emotional turmoil inside the cheater. Guilt can eat away at them, haunting them at unexpected times. Some people feel overwhelming regret, replaying the moment they crossed the line over and over. Others become defensive or angry, trying to shove the guilt aside by blaming others. Neither path is healthy. Then there's the ripple effect on friends and family. Mutual friends might feel stuck in the middle, not sure whose side to take. Kids, if any, can sense the tension and confusion, even if parents try to keep things quiet. And the wider community, coworkers, neighbors, might also form opinions that can complicate daily life. These hidden side effects show that cheating doesn't happen in a vacuum. It's easy to focus on the initial thrill and forget the aftermath. But when the dust settles, people on both sides often feel shattered. For some, it can even trigger deeper mental health struggles like anxiety or depression. So while an affair might seem like a quick fix to a problem, or an exciting way to spice up life, the emotional blowback can last for years. With so many reasons behind cheating, you might wonder if there's any hope for prevention. The good news is, yes, there are things couples and individuals can do. One of the biggest is building honest communication. Telling your partner how you feel, even if it's awkward or hard, creates a foundation of trust. If something's missing emotionally or physically, speaking up early can stop quiet resentment from growing. Therapy and counseling can also be lifesavers. A professional can help people uncover hidden fears or unhealed wounds that lead them to cheat. It's not just about fixing the relationship, it's also about personal growth. By looking inward, individuals can learn better coping skills, figure out healthier ways to deal with boredom or stress, and rebuild self-esteem. Setting personal boundaries is crucial. Temptation may appear in many forms, but knowing your limits helps you steer clear of dangerous situations. If you know you're extra vulnerable after a couple of drinks, maybe limit social events where alcohol flows freely. If social media flirting feels like a slippery slope, decide to keep certain interactions off limits. For couples, regular check-ins can be a game changer. Schedule time to sit and talk, even if everything seems fine. Ask each other, how are you feeling about us? Is there something bothering you that we haven't addressed? Keeping that dialogue open can prevent misunderstandings and help both partners feel valued. Ultimately, preventing cheating is about self-awareness, respect, and effort from both sides. If someone's determined to cheat, no rule can fully stop them, but a strong foundation can make it less likely. And for those recovering from an affair, these tools can help heal, though it's not a quick or simple process. Rebuilding trust and changing deep patterns requires patience and a willingness to face tough truths. So, why do people cheat? The reasons stretch far beyond bad people doing bad things. Sometimes it's the chance encounter at a work conference or the emotional ache of feeling unseen. For others, it's the electric jolt of breaking the rules, an inflated ego that refuses to play fair, or even a hidden fear of getting too close. Society and technology also play a role, with social media making secret connections easier than ever. But no matter the reason, cheating often leaves deep emotional scars. Yet understanding the why behind it can help us recognize warning signs and learn ways to protect our relationships. It doesn't excuse the pain caused, but it sheds light on the complex layers of human behavior. Maybe by shining a light on these hidden motivations, we can foster more honest conversations with our partners, friends, and even ourselves. Now, here's a final thought. If cheating tells us so much about our fears, desires, and weaknesses, maybe it's worth asking, what would happen if we face those issues head-on instead of running from them? Could we break the cycle and build stronger connections? That's a question each of us has to answer for ourselves. And it's the question I'll leave you with today. Remember, every relationship is unique, and sometimes the reasons for cheating are tangled up in a web of personal history and emotional baggage. But one thing remains true. Trust, honesty, and open communication still stand as the best defenses against betrayal. And if we can learn from these stories, rather than hide from them, we might just find deeper, more genuine ways to love and be loved.